Life's a binge. Right?
Excuse me.
Get that out of your system.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's do this. You know that I do that during the pet show, like and when I'm introducing the big finale. And now,
Get ready for this.
here it comes. And I think of you every time.
Funny. That's funny that you do that.
Because it's like, here it comes. It's just like, it's
is,
universal.
yeah, it's just a
it's
thing.
universal.
Like, here we go.
Something's coming. Something's
Yeah.
coming. Here it comes. So,
You know what's coming right now?
what?
Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption. I love that movie so much.
I just watched it.
Awesome.
It's like one of my favoriteest movies ever. I think it's on a lot of like people's favorite movies.
It absolutely is. I was thinking about that. Like we talked to Beth Accomando.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's on her list, but it might be. But she had listed a whole bunch of things about favorite movies, and it's like, oh, we need to come on and talk about favorite movies, which she wants to do. So we're gonna do that again soon.
This one's definitely on my list.
It's on my list. Maybe sometimes it's number one.
Yeah, and I don't know necessarily why. Like, it's a very good movie, and like the through line of the movie is good and everything, but it's like a prison movie. Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it takes place in a prison. Like, a lot of bad things happen. It's not really uplifting until I guess the end. But it's like,
well, you know,
why is it such a good movie? Like, you know, why is it on everyone's list?
Well, it's so funny. The name Redemption, the redemption aspect of that movie is what is so like inspiring and so I think appealing to everybody. So it is. It takes place in a prison, which for most of us, and I don't know if women have it's the same way, but for men, prison is like a primal fear. Like you're like no one
going there. Like nope. But it does have to do. I'm sure it's the same for women. Like a lot of bad things happen in prison, especially the way that your mind works. Like you're gonna get shanked, you're gonna get beat up, you're gonna get in a fight, you're gonna say something wrong, you're gonna be quote somebody's bitch. You know, like all that stuff is like the thing that goes through your brain of like that's prison. Like I don't want to do that. Especially like when this movie takes place. It's like I forget what year it takes place.
I think it's
like,
in the 60s
or
maybe in the 40s.
Earlier.
No, you're right. Like in the 40s.
But it's like especially then, like no, there's no cameras or anything like going on. Like they can do whatever they want. It's like woo. Like I don't know.
Yeah, and that's funny, you know, because the movie, hopefully you're all familiar with the movie. First of all, the movie didn't do that great when it came out.
Right. It was definitely like, it's now a cult classic or whatever you want to call it, because it didn't necessarily do well in theaters, but then everyone freaking loves it, which is very bizarre.
Right.
I just pulled up the IMDb just so we for sure get the facts right. It came out in 1994. It's Frank Darabont, obviously. Tim Robbins, Morgan Freeman are the stars. Anyway, I just wanted to get the year, really. It's based on the Stephen King short story, Rita Hayworth, and The Shawshank Redemption. So there was that. Those are the facts about the movie. Now let's just talk about it.
So when I saw it the first time, God, you know, and it must have been on video cassette rental probably at that time.
Right.
Maybe.
94.
Yeah.
So it probably came out like if it was released in 94, it probably came out on video or whatever in 1995, because it used to be you had to wait. Unless it like really tanked in the theater, then they would like kind of push it on video. But like usually, especially if a movie was a hit, like you had to wait a year almost before they released it. Now it's like here's a summer blockbuster, and now it's out for Christmas.
Yeah,
it's like they just crank them out.
Yeah, they want to ride the wave of its popularity. Right. So like, oh, this will only in 3 months we're gonna be able to get this, you know, or less.
Yeah.
But
so watching it came out in 94. Yeah, I probably didn't see it until the late 90s. Like for the first time.
Oh yeah.
To be honest. Like,
no, that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
But Tim Robbins kills it in it. Yeah. He's so great.
Andy Dufresne is so good.
Yeah. And of course Morgan Freeman, who's great and everything. Now in the book, did you read the book?
Never read. It's a short story. I never read it. No.
So I don't think I could be wrong, but I don't think that the character of Red is a black guy in the book.
Maybe.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, it could be why.
Here I am talking about something I don't know.
Well, right. But it could be why when he's like, why do they call you Red? And he's like, maybe it's because I'm Irish.
I'm Irish.
Maybe that's like a line in the book, and they just kept it because it was funny.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
let us know if you read the book.
But it's oh gosh, it's so good. And I think the thing that is, it's like these circumstances, and I think we can all kind of apply them to our own lives. Right. It's like where it seems like everything is just in such a lousy way, and is it's unbearable that what you have to deal with.
Right.
But a little bit at a time, using your own wits about you, you can kind of make your way out. And that's what Andy Dufresne does. It's like he starts to use his talents to like gain influence.
To get better, to like make the best out of a crap situation.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's so, you just root for him the whole time because, you know, the line in Shawshank is like, everyone's innocent in Shawshank, didn't you know that? But like, he is! Right. He's the innocent one, he really didn't do it. And you're just like, he goes through all this crap, and he's innocent the whole time.
Right.
And you're just like, man, your heart breaks every time something bad happens to him, because you're like, he shouldn't be there. Like,
yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, so like, is there no justice?
Right.
There's no justice. So,
and then like the kid shows up and he's like, "Oh man, you'll never guess what I heard. This guy, he like confessed to this murder and he pinned it on this banker and like da da da." And you're like, "That's
here
Andy!"
it is.
And like,
yeah.
The warden pulls him out and he's like, "Would you confess to this in court? Just give me that chance."
Boom! He shoots
You're
the
like,
guy.
"Dang it!"
That's so great. That's so great. I mean,
no, it is.
It is so great. Like filmmaking, it's so because you're just like, yeah, here we go, and then like, I can't believe this kind of this dishonesty and injustice exists out there.
Boo.
And but in the movie, he gets his, like, he's so smart, he uses his brain, and which is one of the reasons I think a lot of people like it too, is he uses his brain to overcome these circumstances. So he gets the warden back at the end by
big time.
yeah.
He like puts out the like letter to the paper and like puts the books. Like,
he almost just
out.
like, here's this gun. You're gonna use it on yourself. Like, no, I'm not. Oh, rough. Yes, I am. Blam. But it's so well done.
All the small little like subtle things in the movie, like the library, how he sends a letter every week, and then like they give him books, and he sends 2 letters.
Yeah, the message is fantastic. It's like you just keep at it. You keep doing what you do, and you keep doing it, and you keep trying. And even if you get told no, you try doubly hard, and you keep at it. And they're like, well, I guess eventually, you know, they got tired of getting those letters, so they started sending them books, and then they started sending him more books. And before you knew it, they had an entire library, and he was teaching people how to read in the prison.
Getting their
GEDs and oh my goodness, so good.
Well,
so good.
I think another, like, this is like, we're all over the place on this movie, but that's how it goes when you start talking about this movie. But I think the very first time I saw it, I think I had to like ask somebody or like check, like, is this a true story? Like, it seems like it's based on it. Like, it seems like it's a true thing that could happen.
Is it?
Kinda.
I mean, no. I mean, but is it, like, I still, like, I don't know. Is it a true story?
No. Unless, like, it's buried somewhere deep in, like, the hints of, like, being a true story. As far as I know, like, Stephen King just, like made it up. As far as I know. But it seems like one of those movies when you're watching, you're like, man, this is rough that this really happened. And, like, it's all fiction, as far as I know. Unless I'm totally wrong in that aspect.
But it's great. It's great fiction because you understand everything they're doing. You understand the warden's, even though he's corrupt.
Yeah.
But his using prison labor to to kind of ruin the market around the surrounding the prison where he's getting all the free, and then he's getting paybacks. Yeah, he's getting paybacks.
Like, he doesn't use the prison labor.
Yeah. It's quite a little racket he's got going, and then he's just twisting his mustache, and it's like, oh, my little accountant who's brilliant, who's saving me money, and now oh my goodness, so good.
Like the way that Andy gets things done, like the very first time when he overhears the guards talking about, like, oh, my wife, and she's got, and then the IRS is gonna screw me and take it all or whatever, and he like walks up and he's like, do you trust your wife? Like, how is that how you start that conversation?
Yeah.
He's like about to throw him over the roof, and he's like, do you trust your wife? It's like, what? No, like, just tell him, like, hey, I'm real smart, I'm an accountant, I can fix this. But like the way he goes at it, you're just like, man, that guy's a smart little bastard.
Yeah. And then the whole thing, what I love is the little victories that they have, like
with the beers and like
So
all I ask for is that you get a beer apiece for my coworkers.
Yeah, I believe a man feels like a man when he could have a cold brew in his hand after a hot day,
and then he doesn't even drink the beer.
Drinking it,
he doesn't even drink it. He just sits in the corner like, Andy Dufresne. That guy's awesome.
And then, so after all the misjustice that he's goes through, all the horrible things that he goes through, the mile of shit that he has to swim through to get out of
like
the prison,
500 yards or something.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
it works. Right. It works, and he's so smart enough that he's able to set up. He's able to set up the warden.
Basically, the prison gets like shut down. It doesn't, but like every corrupt person gets called out.
Yeah.
So like
he essentially cleans up the whole prison. It's real neat and tidy.
Right.
He cleans up everything. The warden kills himself, and the prison changes, and they don't show it, but you picture like the ideal like the way rehabilitation.
The way that they do show it is because Red finally gets let go. He gets released. He committed a crime. I think it was murder. I think he killed someone when he was 18. Yeah. And like the way he gets let go is like sure, like he, says like rehabilitation. That's just a made up word or whatever. Right. Like his speech at the end is awesome.
Yeah.
But like it kind of shows that it's a different system because they let him go, even though now he's being a smart aleck about the whole thing. And he's like, I don't care. Like whatever. Let me go. Don't let me go. Like I was 18. I made a mistake. I regret it every day of my life. I'm an old man now. Like what am I gonna do? And they're like, get out. It's like, okay, they're not corrupt anymore. Like, it's kind of like
that's so funny. I never thought about that way. I just thought that it had to do with like him finally kind of resigning to any kind of outcome, like from the parole board that like they're holding your future in their hand.
Yeah.
And he took that power away from him. He said, I don't care. Screw you. He's like, do what you want to do. Okay.
Oh. And then they make you think like he's going to kill himself like Brooks did because he gets like the same job. He's in the same room. He's in the same house.
Yeah.
And he sees like Brooks was here and then like he like goes through everything. They zoom in on the guns and like he climbs up and carves his name. And then it's a compass instead of a gun. And like he goes off and like finds the thing. And,
yeah.
San Juantaneo. It's so good.
Say what the nail, yeah.
God,
and then
man.
it just and it's a beautiful, beautiful film, especially the way it plays out at the end, where after all of this, and it's a nice long epic movie too.
Yeah.
So and then none of it's wasted.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 hours long, I think.
Yeah,
but it's worth it.
None of it is like like this is they could have done without this bit or whatever.
Right.
It's all plays into it so well, and then it ends on the beach of them finding each other, two free men, because his freedom was ill-gotten. I mean, he
but he should have been free.
But he also created this entire persona for him.
So the person that he is now
is completely legal.
Yeah,
he's completely legal.
Yeah.
And they get to live out their days on the beach in Say What the Nail.
Oh, it's so great.
Makes me want to go to prison just to go through all that.
Break out. Oh man, it's just, I mean, we have to end it, but like I could talk about this movie forever.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll when we do that like favorite movies thing, this will definitely pop up.
I'm sure it will be on there. I'm sure.
But if you haven't seen it, A, who are you?
Right.
And B, stop watching this right now because it's over and go watch the movie, even though we just ruined all of it. But it's so good.
It's still worth it.
Way worth it. Even
and if you haven't seen it in a while, watch it again.
Watch it again.
Yeah.
Definitely awesome every time. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I could talk about this forever, but we do have to stop. But this has been Life's a Binge. I'm Jared.
I'm BJ.
And
we'll see you on the couch.